this is finally going to be my product empties video. I think it's been 5 months, I'd have to go back and check, since my last one. I have so many empties, which is the most incredible feeling that I actually used up these products instead of just continuing to hoard new ones. However, I feel like this might be on the long side. I'm gonna run through a lot of these pretty quickly because you've seen them already in other product empties and hauls. They're just my repeat offenders. But if you have access to some coffee, I would suggest pouring a cup, or watch this while you're getting ready. I'll start out with some hair products because I have the least amount of those. I finished Alterna Caviar shampoo and conditioner. This is my favorite. I get asked about my hair on almost every video, and this hasn't changed for the last at least year, I'll say. This is my favorite. It is expensive. They're $35 a piece. However, somebody amazing on Snapchat just alerted me to the fact that Costco has the set, I believe, for $40. So if you're a Costco member, and it's only online. I did find this brand in Target when I was there once. It's the brand Hask, and it's an argan oil repairing shampoo and conditioner, and it's free of sulfates and parabens. And I wanted to try it just to see, because I figured if I could find a cheaper alternative, that would be great. It was okay. It definitely did not even come close to my Alterna Caviar. I think it's decent if you want to find a good for your hair shampoo and conditioner, but not something where I was like crazy in love with. The one thing I really love about the Alterna Caviar shampoo is you need such a little amount and it foams your entire head of hair, and I have a lot of hair and it's very thick, whereas that one and a lot of others I've tried, I need to like keep adding shampoo to get a good lather. I have like such bad shortness of breath with this pregnancy, and I feel like I'm going to be having to edit this video down so much just with how many breaths I need to take, because there's so much stuff to share. Okay, let's go perfumes. I finished 3 full-size bottles of perfume. The Acqua di Parma, which was the vanilla scent, and this is one of my favorites. I love this. I got this in Disney last July, so it almost lasted me an entire year. It is very expensive, but I think it lasted me a pretty long time considering I wore it almost every day. Elizabeth & James Nirvana Black. This has been a favorite for years too. I love this. I love their dry shampoo. I just purchased a full size of their Bourbon and Rose, which I love. I still have about 4 roller balls of the black, which is why I haven't purchased a full size. And Kai, which is hard to find. They have these in a lot of the high-end department stores, but it's basically a gardenia scented perfume. I love it for the summer. It's definitely not a fragrance I would wear all year round, but it's very floral, and I do love the smell of gardenia. It's not a scent that I ever would wear by itself. It's always something that I would layer with Bronze Goddess or whatever other perfume I was wearing, just for a little kick of gardenia, but it is very strong, so it's not something I would wear on its own. Then I just have a couple from Scentbird, Nest Indigo, which I do love, Tom Ford Black Orchid, and another Nest Indigo. Nest Indigo is a really nice daytime fragrance, and if you like the Nirvana Black, you will love the Black Orchid from Tom Ford. And then 2 little roller balls of the Rose and Bourbon by Elizabeth & James that I absolutely love and just purchased full sizes of. The next heaping mound of empties I have comes from LC Organics, which most of you know my good friend Lily is the owner of. Our daughters are the same age. They've grown up together basically, and she started her business out of her home. She was making natural products for her family and her kids, and we all got wind of it and all started ordering from her, and we all encouraged her to open a shop, and she did, and she's doing so well, and I'm so proud of her because her stuff is incredible. I never have to worry about the products, the ingredients that she uses, and most importantly, it's all really effective. So I have a lot of stuff. 4 bottles of her massage body oil, which has been my go-to moisturizer. The Vanilla Citrus, the Romance, which I think she did for Valentine's Day, 2 romances, and an Uplifting. You can't go wrong with any of them. I currently have one on my nightstand, a huge bottle with a pump finally, and that one is called Chocolate, and it smells like chocolate. It's basically just like cocoa butter and a chocolate essential oil, and it smells incredible. I love her body oils because they're not greasy, but they're very moisturizing. I've been lathering my belly, my legs, my arms, everything, and I can get dressed right away and not have to worry about it getting all over my clothes. Room sprays are amazing. This one was from Fall, the Fall Spices, which she is going to be doing again this year, which I can't wait for, because I raved about this when it was out and so many of you bought it and loved it and went back for more. And this is like my favorite. If she could make this into a perfume, I would wear it every day in the fall. And then 4, 5, 6 of these body scrubs. 2 gingerbread, which were from holiday, and I really hope that she's gonna do these again for holiday. It just smells like a gingerbread sugar cookie. And again, her body scrubs are moisturizing. They don't dry you out, but they're not abrasive where they're gonna like make your skin really red and irritated. Lavender Romance, Candy Cane, which was from Christmas, and gingerbread. And I'm obsessed with these. If you need a good natural body scrub in the shower, she actually calls these butter sugar scrubs, which I think is a more appropriate name anyway, because they are like butter, like very moisturizing but not greasy like butter. Then a random, this is was my brush shampoo by Benjabel, and it cleaned all my brushes, again full of natural ingredients. Worked really, really well. Highly recommend. I also have their solid for the brushes and my beauty blender, which is great. This lasted me a long, long time. And I have told you guys in so many videos, especially recently, how I can't get enough body rubs and body moisturizers. You just obviously saw that with the oils. Have another big pile of empties. So by Supergoop, the body butter with Shea Buckthorn, sorry. Good, effective, not one that I care to repurchase. Did its job while I had it. This one was in a FabFitFun box by Anderson and Lily. Winter in Manhattan Beach. Again, really nice, but not crazy about it to where I would be repurchasing. One of my favorites is by the Sol Janeiro, the Brazilian Bum Bum Cream. This is one of my favorites. I'm obsessed. I did try this one from Sephora in their little checkout line, the cookie and body ice cream. This smells really good, but it's kind of weird. I think it had crushed up Oreo cookies, so it definitely went on like with crushed cookies, and it was like black flecks, but they did rub in. I like the scent, but again, not super crazy about it. One that I will be repurchasing when it comes back into stock is by Ever, their Lavish Ultra Rich Body Butter. I blew through this so quickly, and I think I had this in a favorites video. It smells incredible, but the texture of it is unlike any other texture of a body cream or a body moisturizer that I've ever tried. So I don't know exactly how to describe it, but it is awesome, and it also helps with stretch marks. So I was using this on my belly a lot. This one was another one in my FabFitFun, but this was an AHA hand cream. I had this by my bedside, and I would use this every night before bed, and it was really nice. I have to put something on my hands, especially recently. I don't know why, but in between my fingers is so dry. So I'm always putting stuff on. And the same goes for my First Aid Beauty Ultra Repair Cream. You can actually use this on your face, but I use this more so on my legs when I have really dry skin, and my hands, just to give me that extra boost of moisture. This is actually made for eczema and sensitive skin, so are sensitive to products. This is a really good one to try, and I love that it's all purpose, like you can use it everywhere. Also finished up one of their Ultra Repair washes. I think of this as like a higher end Cetaphil. It's stripped down to simple body cleanser, body wash. It's not going to irritate you. There's no synthetic fragrances in it. It's just an effective, good body wash. If you are postpartum, it's one that I would use. If you have more sensitive areas, or if you have really sensitive skin, it's really great. I do kind of miss using like a scented body wash. I just like having that in the shower. But this was really great for me when I was going through a point where my skin was super dry and I didn't want to irritate it more with unnecessary ingredients, so this was good for that. Also by my bedside that I finished was the Sarah Happ Lip Slip. I have a couple of these. This is one of the better lip moisturizers that I've tried. It is pretty thick and can be kind of sticky, which is why I kept it by my nightstand and would only use it at night. It's definitely like a stickier balm. It's not one of those balms that you have to keep going back in and applying. Like one little bit hydrates your whole lips, and it's, I think, better to use it at night. Hair would like get stuck in it in the wind or something like that during the day. Another thing I used up in the shower, and I love this. This was, I always, when I'm sharing FabFitFun boxes with you guys, I'll always mention how I've discovered some awesome products and brands that I wouldn't have otherwise, and this is one of those. This is by Stemulation, and it is a daily micro derm scrub for face and body. And really primarily I only use this in the shower on my back. I have some scars left over on my back. When I was pregnant with Addie, I got horrible back acne, and horrible, and I'm still recovering. Like, I still have scars from it, so I really rely on like a good exfoliator or exfoliation. The body scrubs were great when I was using those too, but this was awesome. It had little micro beads, and I would just put this on my back over those scars, and I definitely noticed a difference of them lightening and even some of them completely fading away. So this is really great. I'm not sure where you can get this, but if you want to Google it, it's Stemulation. I'll try to find a link for it. Another FabFitFun discovery that I really enjoyed using, which, funny story, this is by Skin Laundry. Their Restoring Night Serum, and I was loving this, especially during being pregnant, because it didn't have any salicylic or benzoyl peroxide in it. I feel like I have to use a serum at night. It's just that extra step before my moisturizer. It does an extra job on my skin while I'm sleeping, and also helps to lock in my moisturizer. So even if I'm not using a serum, I use like a rose hip oil or something prior to my moisturizer, and this was so great because it was gentle on my skin, but it also helped to give me a really bright complexion the next morning. And at first, when I discovered this, it was in my FabFitFun box, I had never heard of Skin Laundry, and now Sephora picked up the whole line, which is awesome. So good for them, and you can find this at Sephora. I think they've changed the formula, or at least changed the name of it, because I couldn't find this exact serum on Sephora's website, but they do have a serum. I think the packaging is changed too, but this was really great and I enjoyed using it. Mostly everything else here, I have some makeup in this bag, but mostly everything else here was skincare, and I have a lot of it. But it's all, for the most part, pretty good stuff. Another Shiseido cotton. This is my favorite. You guys know that. Goat Milk Cleanser, Goat Milk Moisturizer by Kate Somerville. Cleanser I did like, but I will not be repurchasing. The one thing I didn't like was it kind of would separate. I think it's a coconut oil almost base, and it would oftentimes separate. So when I would shake it up, but I could tell that the oil would kind of solidify inside the tube, and then when I would squeeze it out on my hand, I would only get liquid, and I'd have to keep squeezing out more product. However, it was a very effective product. It took off all my makeup and cleansed my skin really well. I just didn't like the consistency of this. The moisturizer, on the other hand, I really liked. It was very nourishing on my skin, very hydrating. The packaging I liked in the beginning, but now, you know, as somebody that really tries to use up every last drop of my products, not crazy about it. Convenient because you just pump once and it's a good application, but it is kind of bulky, and the same goes for the Drunk Elephant La La Retro Whipped Cream. This was my daytime moisturizer that I would just add a little SPF into, and this was what I was using at night. Again, the same exact packaging, same exact concept. When it's done, and I have a feeling there's probably still a ton of product left inside of here, but I can't even, the product is like inside this thing, which I tried to get off, and it's like, I don't know, it's very intricate packaging. The reason I bought this was because I heard it had like a time release, so it kept your skin moisturized throughout the day. Is it different than any other daytime or nighttime moisturizer I've tried? Not really. So good products, but not like crazy must-have, need to run out and buy right now or repurchase. Good Genes by Sunday Riley. This is a lactic acid serum or mask. You could use it as both. This is a product that I really miss having in my skin regimen, and it is a product you can technically use while you are pregnant, because the base of it is the lactic acid, which is safe. Really miss using this, but I am going to use up the serums that I have. I've had a lot sent to me. I'm using one right now from Dermalogica, which I'm enjoying, but I think this is definitely one that I will be repurchasing, and I can't actually wait to repurchase. I almost got one with the Sephora VIB sale, or the Sephora sale that just happened, but I practice a little self-restraint, and I'm just going to use what I have now. But this is awesome, especially if you have dark spots. A rosehip oil. This is by the brand Aura Cassia, and I usually get this at Wegmans. However, the rosehip that I'm using now is by the Voila Vibe brand that I get on Amazon. So as long as it's 100% pure unrefined rosehip oil, I don't really care what the brand is. I just go where I can find it the easiest. I did like that this had a pump versus, I can't even get the cap off. This is a pump versus right now the one I have is a dropper, and I do prefer the pump just as far as controlling the amount of product that came out. But rosehip oil is something I have gone back to, especially during pregnancy, to help with acne scars. Also really keeps my skin hydrated. This is a product that took me forever to use up, by L'Occitane, the Divine Oil. This was my nighttime moisturizer for a very long time. You guys know how much I love argan oil as a basic nighttime moisturizer, and this is right up there. It is very scented. However, I love the smell of it. Some people probably would hate the smell. It's a very unique scent, and I absolutely love it. So if you need a good nighttime moisturizer, like anti-aging, that's gonna keep your skin really hydrated as you sleep, this was incredible. I actually do have another one in my bathroom pantry right now. This is a little sample I got from Kate Somerville, their Dermal Quench Liquid Lift. It was basically, I was told it's their oxygen facial in a bottle. Really nice. I think a little bit of a gimmicky, luxury extra step to put with your skincare routine. I don't think it was enough to wear as my moisturizer, but it was a nice step to do before the moisturizer if my skin was feeling really parched. I can't wait to go back to using this, the one that has the retinol in it, because I did really enjoy using that one. This one is the same exact product, just without the retinol. Nice little boost before your moisturizer. Some glow pads. The Glow Tonic pads by Pixi and the First Aid Beauty. These are my holy grail. Love these. Don't ever want to be without them. I also finished up a little travel pack that I took recently to Nashville. These are really good from Pixi. They're a little bit cheaper than the First Aid Beauty. You can find these at Target. I don't think they are as good, as effective as the First Aid Beauty ones, but someone on my last video, my Sephora haul when I hauled this, said that they actually prefer these. So I think it is just a personal preference, but for me, I like the First Aid Beauty ones the best. And then also from Pixi, I used up their Lash Nourish Makeup Remover Pads. These were really good. They took off my eye makeup really well. However, I feel like they kind of left behind a film where it made my eyes blurry. If you've used products like that, even like coconut oil, you know what I'm talking about. But they were effective little pads. For me, I prefer a makeup remover pad or wipe to take off everything, not just my eye makeup, because then I still have to go back and take off the rest of my face, so like a micellar water or something like that. But they said was really good to just keep your lashes really conditioned, which was intriguing to me. Eye treatments, the H2O Beauty Oasis Hydrating Eye Balm. Love this. I'm currently using one by Kate Somerville. This was really nice and cooling. I love the packaging of this. It's just a solid balm that you can put on by itself, but I usually typically layer the eye balms with a nighttime eye cream or daytime eye cream just for extra hydration, because they do have fine lines under there, but I really like this. And this was by First Aid Beauty, also their Eye Duty Triple Remedy Gel Cream, and I would use this in the mornings just as a little pick-me-up, and I really liked it. It had a nice little, cute little pump, which was great. Before I became pregnant, I was getting hydrofacials with Brightenol, hoping to lighten those spots and the burn that I had gotten, and they gave me this Brightenol Intensive Spot Corrector to use in conjunction with my 6-week sessions of hydrofacials. So that's what this is. However, I really didn't notice this doing anything for me. So to me, the hydrofacials were nice. Obviously, they made my skin very glowy and bright and hydrated, but as far as them lightening my spots and fixing my hyperpigmentation, it was a lot of money to do that, and I didn't find it to be effective. Body Shop had sent me their tea tree line a while back, and I also have the little tea tree spot treatment. So it was their 3-in-1 wash scrub mask, their daily solution, and their little spot treatment, and I really enjoyed using this line. I used this on my face, and I loved this Anti-Perfection Daily Solution when I could feel a breakout coming on or my skin felt really sensitive. In the beginning, when I first became pregnant, my skin was so sensitive and I was having breakouts constantly, and I relied on this so much to just kind of keep those breakouts calm, help them from actually puncturing my skin, and it was really great. And then the tea tree spot treatment, I would just put directly on my spots to either dry them up or prevent them from coming through, and it was really great. I feel like you could just use regular old tea tree, like a tea tree essential oil, maybe diluted in something, and you'd get the same thing, but this was a really, really nice line. This has been in my product empty drawers for a while. This is the Colleen Rothschild Radiant Cleansing Balm. It was a solid balm that you just take off with a muslin, and very effective. Really, really liked it, but I did feel like I needed to then use a cleanser just to get everything off, like any traces of the oily product left behind. But it was super great at taking off my makeup. And this was a little product sample I got from Sephora by Boscia. It's their charcoal makeup melter, and I hated this. Ugh, I didn't like it at all. I went back and I was using my Cebu Balancing Facial Cleanser when I was having all of those breakouts and flare-ups, and they always say go back to what you know when you're in doubt, and I'm so glad that I did, because I feel like the second that I started using this cleanser again, my skin just went back to normal. And I was using this whole line. You guys know, if you've been with me since 2007, I've been using this whole line. I was using it for years. My skin was also a lot more younger back then. I wasn't having babies and having all these hormones, so that probably had something to do with it, but it always kept my skin fresh and bright, and I very, very rarely would get a breakout. So I always recommend this skincare line to girls that are in high school and college that don't have like problems with their skin yet, that just want a really good, natural, good for you skincare line. A lot of people have tweeted me and Snapchatted me that they always find this at Marshall's and TJ Maxx. I can never find it when I'm there. I think you can also find this, I want to say at like Trader Joe's or Whole Foods, but it's a lot easier to find it now than it was back in the day. We just have to get it right from their website. So Strata, this was the exfoliating wash that my dermatologist had me using, and it was supposed to stimulate cell renewal. It was a pump, a foam. For whatever reason, in the past, when I've tried like foam cleansers, I don't feel like they are effective in cleaning my skin. I like the consistency of them. I just don't feel like my skin gets squeaky clean. I would much rather a gel cleanser, a milk-based cleanser, or a exfoliating cleanser. So I didn't notice a crazy difference with this as far as my hyperpigmentation and scars, but I do know that the Neostrata line is a really good line. So maybe just with that product, not the best. The Fresh Umbrian Clay Purifying Toner. This is actually a product that I miss having, that I will be repurchasing when I'm done using up what I'm using now. I really like this to keep my pores clean, to get off any last traces of makeup that my cleanser didn't get, and I like the smell of it. This was a really nice toner, and it didn't dry my skin out. This is another one, a rose toner, and I really just used this, or thought this was good for keeping my skin, or putting the moisture back into my skin after I would cleanse. A lot of times your skin might feel tight or dried out, and I would like using this to just kind of like rehydrate it. I would use this the same way that I would use my Josie Maran Nirvana spray, green boosting spray from Tarte, like face sprays like that. Would take off any makeup left behind, but I didn't rely on this to like treat my skin for anything the way I did this one. And this is by the brand Boscia Care. I think this was sent to me by the company, so I'm not sure where you can find it. There's a website though, which I'm sure you can get it right on their website. This is by Boscia. This is their Saki treatment water. Huge gimmick. This was like a little burst of moisture to your skin before your moisturizer. It kind of just felt like water going on your skin, and I really didn't feel a difference with my skin or notice it. This just felt really gimmicky. It was kind of hard to apply to because it was so loose and watery. That is all the skincare, and then I'm gonna just run through this makeup stuff pretty quickly. I used up one of my Smooth Liquid Camo by Dermablend foundations. You guys know I have videos on this, get readies, reviews. This is an awesome full coverage foundation that I swear by. Dr. Brandt Pores No More Pore Refiner Primer. This is a tinted pore filling. Think of it as Benefit's Porefessional, but with a tint, like a darker tint than that one. Did like the pump, but I felt like it slipped off my face. I liked it when I first started using it, and now that I have like more things to cover up, I didn't feel like it was as effective, so not the best primer that I have tried. And IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores Loose Translucent Finishing Powder. I love this. It always made my skin look super airbrushed. I am tossing out 2 beauty blenders that have seen better days. I do like to just change out my beauty blenders like every few months because I use them so often. Skindinavia Makeup Finishing Spray. This is a product that you guys know I have been using forever. I absolutely love it. One of the best setting sprays out there. My Clarisonic brush head, again, you guys know I change these out every couple of months. Some mascaras, the Superhero by IT Cosmetics, obsessed, one of the best mascaras I've ever tried, gives you the look of false lashes. This one was by Inglot, their long form mascara, not crazy about it, total fail, didn't really do anything to my lashes. I have a brow gel from Ico. This was just a very basic clear setting gel. Same thing you would get from the Anastasia one, nothing crazy. Was more affordable than the Anastasia one, which was good. A tube of New Lash, which I'm currently still using. I have a brand new tube that I just broke open. This has been incredible in keeping my lashes long and strong, and I get questions about my eyelashes. I don't wear false lashes anymore. When I had my red lash extensions removed, I started using this right away, and it got my lashes back to like super long. Some concealers, the Bye Bye Under Eye and Hello Light dual-ended concealer from IT Cosmetics. One of the best concealers that I've tried, and I love that it's dual-ended because one gave you for brightening under your eyes and the other one gave you like a full coverage concealer for anywhere else on your face or under your eyes, but I like that I had both. And then the Collection 2000 that I always have my friend from the UK send me over. This is one of my favorite concealers. I wish I could find it here in the US, but it's incredible for under the eyes for brightening. Two little samples of the Glam Glow Super Cleanse, which is one of my favorite masks of all time. I have a full size now, but I love the little travel one. And then their Flash Mud Brightening Treatment. If you are someone that suffers from hyperpigmentation, acne, scarring, this is great. Keep your skin really bright. I love this scent. I just love all Glam Glow products. I used up a package of my Patchology Flash Patch eye gels. These have become such a favorite of mine to where I don't ever want to not have these. There's just days, mornings, where I feel like I did not get enough sleep, or even though I did get enough sleep, I don't look like I slept at all. I have darkness or puffiness, or I just feel really dry, and I rely on these babies so much. Nice little pick-me-up in the morning, and I'm just so happy to have discovered those. Black Track Fluid Line, done. A eyeshadow base from Sigma in Provoke. I don't think I finished this, but it did dry out, so I just wanted to mention that. I've never really had any of my MAC paint pots dry out, but I did want to mention that this one from Sigma did. One of my sponge gels that I love, that I always get in my FabFitFun boxes. These last me like at least a month. They're so great. An Anastasia banana powder from their contour kit. I just buy the refills, and I was using this under my eye as a set powder, and I do have a new one of this, but I kind of held back now since I have these fine lines. Looking for a setting powder to brighten up underneath your eyes. I think this is the best one that I've tried. An eyeliner, the little black liner from Estee Lauder. There's a thick side and an ultra fine side, and I love this. It's just a 2-in-1 if you want a really thin line, or if you want a cat eye, if you want a super thick line on your lash line. This was incredible. My Trace Stick eyebrow pencil, one of my favorites that I have ever tried. So excited that Sephora is carrying this line now because it's easier to get. It does have a little eyebrow comb at the other end that's tinted. But if you like the Anastasia Brow Wiz, I would definitely encourage you to try this because you will probably end up loving this the same, if not better. I have the little Travel Marine Boosting Mist from Tarte. One of the best, sorry, my straps keeps falling down. One of the best face mists that I've tried. It's really hydrating, calms any redness, and is a nice little boost prior to putting your makeup on. Another brow pencil. This one's by Model Launcher. I believe this one came in a FabFitFun box. So glad you guys are seeing all these products from my FabFitFun boxes because I actually do use and end up falling in love with a lot of the products in there. So this one was another one. This was in taupe, and again, I'm not sure where you can find this because it was in that box, but it was a great color. It had the same exact shape as the Trace Stick one with a little spoolie on the other end. I love 2-in-1s when it comes to brow products. Anastasia makes it 2 with the spoolie. You just don't need to have another extra spoolie or eyebrow set or anything like that. It's great. This was a Colleen Rothschild. I got every last drop out of it. Vitamin C Treatment Complex. This is a product I will be repurchasing. Made to reduce hyperpigmentation. You put this on before your moisturizer. Like I said, when I'm done using up the Dermalogica one that I'm using, I will be going back to this one because I really, really enjoyed it. I wasn't crazy about the packaging because towards the end it just kind of was hard to get product out of. That aside, the product itself outweighs my feelings on the product, on the packaging. Okay, my little Teddy eye kohl, I'm finally including it in this product empties. It's a little stub. One of my favorites, will be repurchasing. It's kind of like in a reddish brown, and it's been my favorite eyeliner forever. This was a major fail. The Lorac Behind the Scenes Eye Primer. I used this a couple times. I wanted to really love it. I like the consistency of it, but my eyeshadow creased like within hours. So I did not use this up, but I wanted to mention it that if you ever curious to try it, I would save your money, buy a different one. And the Amore Pacific Cushion Compact. Love the concept behind cushion compacts. You go through these so quickly. I feel like there is such little product in them, or maybe it's just because the cushion absorbs too much of the product, but I feel like these last me such a short amount of time. This was okay. The coverage wasn't as full as I would have liked. Not that I would want it to be a full coverage, but I just didn't feel like it was enough at all. I've really been enjoying the Philosophy one, the Take a Breath, and I really enjoy the L'Oreal Lumi cushion compacts if you want a good alternative to try. That is everything. Oh, I can breathe now. I can get rid of all of this stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my product empties video. I always say it, but hopefully it won't be so long before my next one. I've been really good about using up my products, and I want to continue to do so. I owe you guys an updated makeup collection and a skincare video coming soon, so look forward to those, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye!